Hi Harsh, are you in the meeting?
Hello, Varun. Good evening.
Yes, Anshul, tell me.
I wanted to ask, will the recordings be available after the meeting?
Yes, it will be available.
And how will we be able to access it?
You will get the link via mail.
Okay, all right, all right. Thank you, Varun.
Yeah. Uh, Harsh, have you joined the meeting?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I think I have shared you the PPT, so you may please share the screen if Rohit sir may allow. Rohit sir, is it fine?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Harsh, please share the screen and follow as per the sir's instruction to change the slides.
Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, I request participants to please switch on their cameras so that we can have an interactive session. I believe this topic is something which is really interesting. So if people may please, so we can have more interactive session.
I think we can start. Meanwhile, he'll present.
Okay, sure.
Sure, sure.
As you wish.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll take care now. Hello everyone. Good evening. As you all know, my name is Rohit, and I'm currently practicing in Hyderabad in Tatwa Legal in the real estate department. So, and again, thank you so much, the legal law, for giving me the opportunity. So, I would like to just start this session with the basic question that does anybody have any idea how real estate works? How is the real estate practice? What happens in real estate law? Because I'm sure that you people are aware of corporate, you people are aware of litigation, but what do you understand about real estate practice? Any idea? Okay. So I'll let you know. So basically, real estate practices depends upon majorly 3 to 4 areas. First is title due diligence that we'll cover today. Second is we do a lot of documentation and execution that also I'll let you know what is documentation and execution. Third is the opinion, and finally litigation. So title due diligence will obviously discuss, so that I'll carry forward next in some time. But we'll start with documentation. So basically, what happens in documentation is just basic execution of drafting of sale leads, lease deeds, and DGPAs, and then execution of that. Now, what is execution? Execution is basically taking those documents to the client's office and being ensured of the fact that whatever we have drafted, whatever terms and conditions we have drafted, are accurate to the nature and they have duly signed by the parties as well as taken in the cognizance by the SRO. Now you will say, sir, what is this? This any notary person can do this, this basic drafting and basic execution. So things are pretty different when you are in a law firm and things are at a pretty high stake. For example, it's a good example. I So, for example, I got the chance to go for the execution of the document few days before. It was in Hyderabad only, and it was one of the biggest developers of Hyderabad named Cyber City. So, I understood the fact there that whatever we are drafting, that needs to be compulsorily there in the document that is finally getting executed. And the value of the documents is not of 1 crore or 2 crore, so that we can easily wipe it out. See, okay, no problem. Kuch galti ho jaye to dekh lenge. Nahi, nahi. The value of that document, the value of that sale lead, the value of that DGPA was more than 200 crore, 300 crore. So if there is a smallest miss from our part, then things go on toss. So that's a small summary of documentation and execution that we do. Title due diligence will deal going forward. Then opinion. Any kind of opinion with respect to real estate. For example, if I want to give an example, like opinion, for example, let's say if there is a dispute between the landowner and the developer who has developed a society, and if there is some dispute with respect to the clubhouse, then they'll come to us and they'll say like, sir, please prepare a legal opinion because we want to evaluate that what is the weightage of this matter so that we should go to the court or not. And lastly is the litigation support. Basically, anytime if we get the document before starting the process or in the meanwhile, if we find that this matter is really complex in nature and requires the litigation attention, then we give them litigation support also. So this is generally basic practice of real estate where we do diligence, where we do documentation, where we do opinion, and we also do litigation support. So this is broadly litigation. This is broadly real estate practice. Am I clear? Am I making sense? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Charles. So now we'll start with the main topic, which is title due diligence. Before going forward, just if you guys have any doubt, you can raise your hands, and just in case if I miss to see that, you can write the questions in the text box. I'll surely address that. Okay, thank you. So yeah, again, starting with one more question. Today's topic is title due diligence. You guys have any idea what we are going to discuss today? Anybody? You can write in the text box. I'll see it if you want. Anybody? Okay. Acha, Chakshita has written no, sir. Okay. Thank you, Chakshita. At least you responded. You guys can respond. Ideally, you should have switched on your cameras, but it's fine. So basically, what is title due diligence? A title due diligence is nothing just a process which is little complex in nature, which is used for identifying the ownership of a property. And it covers. Okay, Somit is like, sir, I don't have any idea. Okay, understood. Let me go forward. So is basically is a process where we identify the title of the documents and a lot of other complex natures. Now, what is title basically? Title is nothing but the interest and ownership of the property which we check for. That is known as title due diligence. Actually, one more question I have. So because the process of title due diligence is such a niche area where obviously you don't have much data on internet about it. So because law firms are very competitive about it, they don't really share about all this kind of complex transactions where how things happen, how to do it, how not to do it. And although they are getting paid too much, let me tell you, because of this process, but there is comparatively less data on the internet regarding this process, and not people are also aware of about the origin of this whole title due diligence process. So anybody has any idea like which is the statute related to this? Any statute, like let's say like contracts or RERA or anything which is related to this diligence process? Any idea how it came into picture? Who gave all the guidelines? Who's setting all the guidelines? Why are we doing it? For whom we are doing it? Who is getting paid? Who is getting benefited? What is an advocate's interest in that? Anything? Do you recollect any statute to discuss about this or any regulation? I'm assuming no. Okay. So basically, this whole process of diligence is Partnership Act. Okay, I'll tell you. So basically, this diligence process is generally, most of the time, this diligence process is done for the investors and the bankers. So pan-India and regional level also, it is the bankers and the investors who set a guideline as to how they want a diligence report, and the advocates working on behalf of the investors, they make the report on that procedure in those terms. And there are also few landmark cases such as Chandrakanta Bansal versus Ranjendra Singh. I'll write them in the chat box. You can later Google them. MP Steel versus Consumer, LP Steel Consumer Corporation versus Consumer Forum, and many other. So these were the landmark cases where the court gave the exact guidelines as to how things will happen in diligence, what is the importance of diligence process, and few particular guidelines that was given, and which from then onward it has been followed pan India. So that's how diligence came into picture, because earlier there was no importance of diligence, because they just used to go to a simple notary guy who used to just write out certain transfer document that they'll give you, and he's like, okay, this is the history of the property, put some normal stamp and signature, and things used to go forward. But moving forward in the late 2000 and the early 1990s, when the whole corporate culture started and the investment started to sort of like shoot up in the market, that's how this whole process of diligence came into picture. Because nowadays, if you, for example, if I have to say, if you want to buy, if you want to get 100 crores of loan, you won't simply get it by just projecting your what do I say, future business prospect ki. No, you won't be like, you won't get money like Vijay Mallya, that I have, my business has a lot of scope, and so please grant me this amount of money. No, it won't happen nowadays that way. Generally, most of the time nowadays, you have to keep you have to keep a property in collateral, and you get money in returns. And that too, that money is not given easily. Before giving that money, that property is the property and the transfer documents relating to that property is given to the advocates and law firms to verify if that person or that company or anyone seeking that loan has a clear title or not. So that's how this whole procedure has started. And mostly the process of title due diligence is done by, most of the time it is done by the builders who are going to acquire a normal piece of land or a large parcel of land for developing any structure, society, corporate, or any commercial structure or any residential structure. So it is done for the builders, developers. It is also done for the investors and the bankers. So largely that's about it. Am I clear? Am I making sense? Is is the topic interesting? Any response? Sangeeta wrote, yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Acha, okay, I understand you guys are not responding, but you can write in the test box. Why do you think so it is interesting? Because a lot of money involved. There is a lot of money involved. I'll tell you. If you guys show interest, I'll tell you how to get into all of this. And like a lot of good stuff, I'll tell you. Maybe in part
Yes, sir. Tell us how we're going to get the money. We are so interested.
you are, sorry, Charles, are you interested in knowing how to get the money?
Yes, sir. I'm interested in knowing how to get the money.
So you don't want to. So you don't want to learn the process first?
No, sir. In the process of learning when I'm learning the process, I will also be knowing how it works and how we're going to get the money. So if you saw us how we're going to get the money, then we shall know the process by default.
Process is little important, Charles, because if you don't know the process, nobody will let you inside the law firm. Because then there is no difference between a person who is doing litigation, because that person and you both have the same knowledge. Real estate requires a different sort of mindset. It requires patience and a lot of things, which I'll tell you, don't worry, later on or in the next session. So today, I'll come back to the topic again. We'll again come back to the diligence process. So, okay. So let me just start with an example so that you guys have a situation in your mind so that we can take it forward. Let's say I am the advocate, and let's say Charles is the investor and has a lot of money, maybe like 200-500,000 crores. And who I can see, okay, Nandini is the developer. Okay, Nandini is the developer over here. Nandini comes and says that, okay, Charles, you have a lot of money. I have this parcel of land. I want to construct a building over here, but I'm falling short of money. How much can you lend me? So Charles is like, I'll let you know once I get the once I get the documents of your land, and once I get the diligence process done. Based upon that, I'll tell you how much I'll give you, if I'll give you or not. And I'll contact you, and I'll contact my best lawyer, which is there in the town. I'll give him the papers, and we'll start the diligence process, and we'll let you know in 2 weeks how much I'll be going to lend you money. So So this is the first step towards diligence process, that meeting of an investor and a client. This is the first step. Then they come to an advocate like me. Then what happens? Any idea? You can write in the chat box like what is the process? What do they do? Is this some high level rocket science or what is it? Any idea? Charles, any idea?
Yes, sir. I think in this process, now I will have to verify that the person that I'm supposed to lend my money to is actually the owner of the place, and how
Absolutely.
this and
Absolutely
how the
correct.
strategy of the place is located. If it's strategically located, then there can be potential that will,
Your voice
and
is
in that
getting cracked,
process,
but
I
I
will also be.
understood.
Yes,
I
sir.
lost you midway. I lost you midway. After strategically you said something, I lost you midway.
I said in this process, I will have to verify that the person who is borrowing the money is actually the owner of the place. That's the first thing. The second thing is what is the strategy of the place. That by determining
Absolutely.
that, I will be able to know that if the building is being made in that place, then there's a very high potential that I'm going to get a lot of money in return. Even if not directly, the person will earn money, and then I will also get my interest out of it.
Understood, understood. You're partially correct. Like your first part of understanding your ownership was 100% accurate, and I'll take it forward. Thank you so much, Charles. Yeah. So yeah, as soon as Charles, who's an investor, who comes to me saying that okay, Rohit sir, I have someone to lend money to, but I have a little doubt, and I think the property is fishy. Can you please verify those documents and let me know how much can I invest? Should I invest or not? And what is the future prospect? So Charles will leave a set of documents in my office. Now, what are those documents? Those documents are basically nothing. Can you, the presenter who is presenting the slides, can you can you take them to page number 7? Harsh, I think so. It's Harsh. Yeah. So basically, there are a whole lot of there are like more than thousands and hundreds of documents that we have to verify for our diligence process. But this is a very short and crisp pointers I've given over here. So we'll start. So what are the nature of the documents? We'll start with the transfer documents. And what are transfer documents basically? Title documents basically, sale deed, lease deed, DAGP, developmental agreement, any power of attorney, or any kind of a document where the ownership of the property is getting transferred from one person to another. And what are the prerequisites, and what are the bylaws, or what is the procedure where we have to understand that if this document is authenticated or not, or is it legitimate or not. Basic procedure. You guys can make notes also, like if our guys are aiming for an internship in a real estate law firm, then this will be very helpful. A basic procedure to identify if a document is registered or not is to check on the very first page, at the very top above the stamp where the stamping is done or the franking is done. On that page they'll generally write a number, basically 112 of 2012, 626 of 2013. That is the registration number. And on the next page, which is basically the back side, I would say back side, there is on the back side, on the right left hand side, in a horizontal manner, in the vertical manner, they'll also write the registration number. And at the end of the page, there will be a stamp of the SRO along with the signature. Now, what is an SRO? SRO is the sub registrar office. Basically, SRO is the king of all the registrations. So, all the registration that happens in a district pertaining to the jurisdiction cannot be done without the permission of the SRO. SRO is, I would like to say, in real estate, is the supreme god. So, yeah. So that's how we'll verify the transfer documents. And in transfer documents, while verifying transfer documents, an important part will come where we'll check the history of the property. Now, what is the history of the property? So I would like to give you an example, small example. So currently I'm practicing in Hyderabad. So Hyderabad has a very rich cultural heritage. Anybody from Hyderabad? No one. Okay. So Hyderabad has a very Oh, Likita. Oh, nice to know that. Thank you. So Hyderabad has a very rich cultural. Dibya Jyoti is also from Hyderabad. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. So Hyderabad, as you know, has a very rich cultural heritage, and it has a lot of history. Earlier, it was a Nizam province. Then it was also a princely state. Then later, it got bifurcated into, what do I say, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and so on. So basically, throughout the period of time, there were different regimes and different, what do I say, statutory bodies that govern the real estate market of Telangana or Hyderabad or any particular domain. So what happens in that? In that, we have to check basically the history of the property. That from A it got to B, from B it got to C, and C it got to D. Now you'll say, sir, it's not difficult. We just have to check the documents. No, it's not the same. So I give you the example of Hyderabad. Okay, let's say Charles is an investor in Hyderabad, and Nandini also is a developer in Hyderabad. And Nandini got a land from some XYZ person. Let's say, who's this guy? Gaurav Kundu. He got this land from Gaurav Kundu in 2019, and that particular register, let's say the name of that document is document number D. So he got this document number D from Gaurav Kundu. That was properly registered, everything was there, all the signs were there. SRO gave the stamp and blah blah blah. Everything was there in that. So according to her, this land has a clear title, and she came to Charles. Then he came to me, and I got all the previous documents also. Let's say the current document was D. I got document number C, B, and A. So let's say, just for your understanding, let's say if the present document D, and let's say the document previous to that, let's say C also, was executed in after independence. Okay, so we can understand that they might have the registration and SRO stamp will be there. But A and B got registered right before the independence or way before that. So in that, how will we identify that if this document is legitimate or not? How will we make sure that this document does not have a parallel flow or not? Now, what is a parallel flow? I'll tell you what's a parallel flow. Plus, tell me, am I making sense? Is it going fine, the session? Just give me a thumbs up or whatever you can so that I can understand. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I got that. So where I was under parallel flow. Okay. So now Nandini has an idea that, okay, C and D, this property has a clear title. How will I understand? And she's in a dilemma basically, that okay, C and D are correct, and I don't care about A or B. But as a lawyer, as a law firm, as a part of the diligence process, we have to basically check all the documents that are there in the nature or that are there in the custody of the landowner or the investor. So what is a parallel title flow? Let's say in the year 1890, there might be a king called Salarjung, let's say. He owned basically half of the land in Telangana or Hyderabad. Then he gave certain part of land to Nivedita's ancestor. Okay. Then he also gave that land to Gaurakunda's ancestor. He basically transacted the same parcel of land to two different persons because, according to him, during those days, the registration was not that authenticated, and people could generally write it down in a paper, or they can just verbally transfer the land, and then people used to just take it forward for their eternity. So that's where the importance of diligence come into picture, is to check if all the documents beginning from A, B, C, D are true to the nature or not. Someone raise their hands. Did someone raise their hand? No one, right? Okay. Are true to the nature or not, and there is no parallel title flow. I'll just give you a very small example. So I was dealing with some matter in Hyderabad only. There was a very big developer which came to my office, and my senior told that, Rohit, you have to take care of this matter. I was like, okay. He just gave me 4 transfer documents. I cannot tell you the name of the builder and the location, otherwise there will be some controversy. He just gave me 4 transfer documents. He's like, Rohit sir, I just have 4 transfer documents. These transfer documents are duly stamped by the SRO, and the title is completely clear, and kindly make the title diligence report, because based upon your firm's letterhead, I'll get the loan disbursed from the investor. I was like, okay. But while doing the diligence process, while understanding all the nature of the transaction, I got to know that this parcel of land, which according to the developer says that only 4 transfer documents are there from 1980 till now, and it is a clear title, I came to know that there were more than 4 to 5 people, 2 individuals, 1 government organization and 1 charitable trust, who was claiming land, who was claiming ownership on that land. And guess what was the amount of that land? Finally, at how much price it got executed to the different seller? It was 460 crores just for 1 parcel of land that was hardly 2 acres. That is the weightage. That is the level of, what do I say, diligence you have to keep as a diligence lawyer. So that is the role of transfer documents. So the first process of starting with the diligence process is to take care of all the transfer documents, I would say. Am I clear till here? Okay, thank you guys. Then comes the revenue records. Yeah, then comes the revenue records. You can go to page, Harsh, you can go to page number 7 back. Yeah. Then there are revenue records, then there are encumbrance certificates, then court orders, and etc. etc. Now you'll be curious to know what are revenue records. So after a lawyer is satisfied with the process of identifying the and doing a diligence for the transfer documents, he the main duty and the second part and the crucial part is to go and take a look at the revenue records. Revenue records are nothing but basically, for very simple terms, if I have to make you understand. Okay, mutation certificate, I'll tell you, Charles. Mutation certificate is basically a certificate which says, which a certificate which certifies and tells that this property has been changed into the name of Charles. Like, for example, parcel A was earlier owned by Nandini, now it is owned by you, Charles. So after once this all sale deed and etc has been executed between you and Nandini, you will go to the SRO office, the sub registrar office, as I told you earlier, and you will say to the SRO, sir, I have the sale deed, this is my property, can you please make a mutation certificate in my name? Basically, can you please change the owner of this land into my name and give me a mutation certificate? So that's it. That is the mutation certificate. Am I clear? Sir, SRO stands for, okay, I'll tell you, Gaurav. SRO stands for Sub-Registrar Office. I'll tell you one more time. SRO is basically, is like, what do I say, is the king of all the real estate transaction that happens upon jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Not even a single piece of or parcel of land can go to one person or to another without the permission of the SRO. The biggest developer, the biggest builder in your town, even though he might have 5,000 crore, 10,000 crore, but still he would die for just one approval that he has to get from the SRO. So that's how important SRO is. And SRO basically deals with any kind of rectifications in any of the documents. Basically, for example, if you want to rectify something, if you want to change something, if you want to cancel your document, then you can go to the SRO revenue. If there are some changes that you have to bring in the revenue records, you can go to the SRO or anything like that. As long, except for the matters in the court, except from the dispute matters which are there in the district court or high court, apart from those paper and apart from those matters, each and everything which is relevant to your property, mostly you have to go to the SRO office, except for the local municipal authority. Okay, Yaksha has written something. Okay, okay. Yeah, so Yaksha wrote that once it is the seal is executed, isn't it automatically transferred? No, nothing is automatically transferred. Yaksha, or I'm pronouncing your name properly or not, but so basically, as soon as the sale is executed, only so Like, how do I make you understand? So let's say if this sale lead is executed, only this sale lead will get registered, okay, in your name. But going forward, you'll have to pay the revenue records tax, you have to pay the land tax, and etc. etc. So it is your obligation to go and get your name changed in all of this process. So basically, if you, I don't know, you might have seen certain transfer documents at your home or not. Generally, when any registered document is executed, they generally also attach a new copy of the revenue records also by writing your name. So we have to get all of them executed. We have to get their name changed in our name. Otherwise, there will be problem in future. Let's say, so the world is not going to end. For example, I'll tell you. Let's say sale is executed, everything is going fine, and I am the true owner of the property. And but the revenue records are still reflecting the name of the previous owners. And let's say if Charles wants to sell this property to Ziba Khan next day, okay, then Ziva Khan will be like, okay, I'll buy this property. Show me all the documents that you have. Then Charles will be like, okay, okay, I'll show you the sale lead. Then Ziva's advocate will say, we just don't want the sale lead. We also want all the relevant documents. We want the encumbrance certificate. We want the mutation certificate. We want the revenue records also. So then Charles will be like, how does it matter? Then Ziva's advocate will say it matters because we don't know that this transaction was done legitimately or not, because it is, I'll tell you one more disclaimer. It is not the obligation of the SRO to check the validity of the execution of the document. It can be under coercion or it can be any other force where the two parties are coming and executing the document, but it is not SRO's obligation to check all of that. It's his simple duty to come, sit on that desk, put a stamp on the document and pass on, because there are lakhs of documents that he gets daily to sign and all. So that's how revenue records are important. That's how the ownership will get automatically transferred. But revenue records are important that you have to change in your name. Am I clear, Yaksha, Lakshmi? Am I making sense? Okay, thank you. ठीक है. Am I clear till here, everybody?
Yes, sir. You're very clear.
Give you a chance. Okay. So I think mostly 2 to 3 parts were clear as of now. That in the diligence process, transfer documents, I think so. Like 50% you all know that what is the transfer document, why is it important? What is the parallel title flow? Why do we need to see all sets of document to check the previous history of the document? That is important. That is clear. I think so. If not, then you can let me know. Then what is the mutation certificate? I think so. People are clear on that. What is the revenue record? I think so. People are clear on that. Acha, let me tell you. Acha, one thing I forgot to tell. So it is not. So as you know, there is no general rule for this title due diligence. There is no statute, etc., which specifically says that how to do a diligence process. So the problem is the diligence process is a regional process. It differs from state to state. Okay, so for example, I'll share you an example. So when I was interning in Mumbai, in one of the very reputed firms which used to deal with real estate laws, there we used to prepare title report. Okay, and the title report, sorry. Yeah, sorry. And the title report that we used to make there was hardly 20 pages or 10 pages. So in Maharashtra, there are not much complex real estate laws. So that's why we just used to make the diligence title report for hardly 10 pages, 20 pages, and there are less revenue records, there are less complex laws. So it was a very simple process. When I came to Hyderabad, I was really stunned by the fact that there are so many local laws. There are so many laws that came after the partition of both the states. There are so many laws that we have taken from before the independence. And here we make things called, we make a report that is called title due diligence report. And average length of a report which we do in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh is more than 300 pages. Guys, can you imagine? I am making a report which is of 300 pages. That I'll give it to the investor. Investor will again read it for at least 2 weeks. Then they will disburse the loan amount to the developer. So yeah, this was just a small example that I wanted to make you guys understand that this diligence process depends upon from state to state and laws to law. Acha, one more example, I just wanted to make you understand the complexity of the matter, complexity of the diligence process. So I just told you that it depends upon state to state, the laws. So can anybody give me a rough estimate as to there are how many, what do I say, how many laws and statutes and regulation involved in Telangana state only with respect to just real estate? Any rough figure you can write in the chat box, including the central act of course, TOPA, Contract Act, registration, stamp duty, including that obviously. Anybody, any guess? 1, 10, 2, 5, 20, anything? Okay, so I'll tell you. So in Telangana only, there are more than 2, maybe 4, sir. No, Charles, there are a lot more than that, but it's okay. I appreciate that you at least guessed. So there are more than 260 plus local religion, not local laws for real estate. More than 260 plus. And while an advocate is doing a diligence process, he has to keep all these 260 laws, regulations, statutes, central acts in mind while doing that process. And that is why we are getting paid. So this is how this process happens. This is how the procedure happens. This is how it is structured. And so it depends upon state to state. If you're in a state where the laws are very simple, then you have a win-win situation. If you're in a state where the laws are pretty of a complex nature, then it becomes a little difficult for you, but you also get rewarded that way. So yeah, coming back to the topic again. So we are clear with the sale lead, mutation, revenue records. I told you there are different kinds of revenue records. Now, any random name, if I would tell you in Maharashtra, we call revenue record as 712 extract. We also call it Pahani Patrikas. We call it Khasra Pahani. Just make a note. Khasra Pahani was one of the first revenue records that was made by the government after independence. So there are many revenue records like that where we check the basic facts such as who is the owner of the property, how much tax he has paid, who is the possessor of the property, and blah blah blah, so on. So we are clear with 3 parts. Then what is an encumbrance certificate? So encumbrance. So what is the meaning of the word encumbrance? Anybody? Any idea? Encumbrance. Any idea? No, sir. Okay. Okay, Likita. You want to say something, Likita?
So regarding encumbrance, is it a interest or lien by a third party on the property?
Sure. 100% correct. Thank you. So yeah. So basically the word encumbrance basically means a charge or an interest which is generated by the third party. And earlier the process of figuring out this whole charge and interest was very, I would say vague, and it was not accurate also. But as the digitization came into picture, as websites were developed, now it is much more clear process. Anybody can go to Google, can go to the relevant websites and get the encumbrance certificate downloaded. For example, in Maharashtra and Telangana, we have a website called IGRS. Okay, we have a website called IGRS. Basically, you have to just log in into IGRS, put the details of the land, and then we'll get the encumbrance certificate downloaded. Now, what is there in encumbrance certificate? For example, so just to make you understand, every land on earth, sorry, in India, for example, every land in India is divided into different sectors and survey numbers and so on. So as soon as you put the relevant survey number along with the district in the IGRS portal or any relevant website of the government, you will get the exact detail. So for example, if you go to IGRS, you click on encumbrance certificate procurement, you put the survey number, you put the land details, then you get the encumbrance detail. In that certificate itself, you'll get all the entries from the year 1975 or 80 till the present date, where all sort of mutations, all sort of exchange, who got the land, then who sold it, from there who came into picture, was it mortgage, was there any rectification done, etc., etc. Each and every transaction is shown over there. So let's say now you'll say, sir, why do I care, sir? If it is mentioned over there, same is mentioned in the revenue records also, or it is not concerned. I'm not concerned for that. But this is not how it happens. So, for example, again going back to Charles and Nandini's example, Charles came to me with the property, and I just went on a casual meeting, not a casual but an official meeting with Nandini, and I asked her that, Nandini, is there any encumbrance on the property? Did you mortgage it? Or is there any loan on the property? She's like, no, sir, there is no mortgage on the property. It's a clear property. It has a clear title. So I was like, okay, okay. Then I came back to my office. I did a basic Google search. I got this encumbrance certificate. There I analyzed that Nandini was lying to me. There were more than, I would say, she has taken a loan by keeping this property in collateral, and she has taken a loan of more than 500 crores on the property. And if this land is getting transferred to Charles for no reason, he'll have to pay the money. So that's how this encumbrance certificate is important. This will tell you each and every transaction, and basically it will tell only registered document transaction. So if that mortgage was registered, it will be shown. This is the only condition in the certificate. So if any document is transferred without getting registered, without getting stamped by the SRO, it won't reflect in this. Obviously, it has to be compulsory registered. I also told you how do you figure out if the document is registered or not. You'll see the number at the very top of the document. At the very last page of the document, you'll see the stamp of the SRO with the signature. So yeah, that's how encumbrance certificate is important. Apart from this, so let's say if I have to give you an example, so what all things are really important? Just a second, I'll tell you. So if you are done with this part, okay, one more important part. So two more important part is remaining. So as of now, I think so we are clear with the transfer documents. We are clear with the revenue records. We are clear with the encumbrance certificate. Now two parts are remaining. One is the litigation matter. So we generally, when we are doing the diligence process, we have to make sure that this property, there are no litigation pertaining to the property in the district court, Supreme Court, or any court in India. So we generally send our clerks to the court with the address of the property and with the relevant parties involved, and we tell them to just go and verify if there are no litigation involved pertaining to this property or not. And then there is also a thing called external verification, which any law firm will send their clerks to the concerned SRO office. He'll go to that office and he'll ask to the concerned clerk of the SRO that this is the parcel which is going to get transacted. Obviously, you'll have to give some monetary returns to the SRO to understand the details and intricacies of the transaction. And you'll ask the clerk of the SRO office that, sir, this property is going to get transacted. This person is going to give this money to this person in this parcel of land. Is there any problem in this land? Are the revenue records proper? Is the mutation done or not? Or is there anything which we have to do from your end or my end? Then the SRO will give you either a clean sheet, or else they'll give you a list of all the documents that are pending to be executed. For example, we know the CLD is there, but mutation certificate is not there. He'll write mutation, you have to get the mutation. Revenue records are not there, etc., etc. He'll write and give it to you. So that's how external verification and the court proceedings we take care of. So combining all 6 chapter of transfer documents, revenue records, external verification, etc., etc., we prepare a report which gives a very exhaustive data of all these documents. Then we make separate section called as key issue. Now this key issue is like, it has the neck of the investor or it has the neck of the landowner, because, and this is like a general practice, like all the law firms throughout India, they generally prepare a different document or a different list or a section only within the diligence report called as key issue report or a key issue list. They all have different names, but a key issue is always given to very much importance, because it is generally at the very first of the diligence report, and it basically sums out all the issues which are pertaining to, which are against the clear title of the property with respect to, for example, we got 10 transfer documents. Okay, In 10 transfer documents, we understand 2 transfer documents were not like how should I make you simple? Were not executed properly. It was not signed properly. So, for example, A, B, tak it was signed properly. C was not signed properly, and this landowner gave further land to D. Now, if the document which C person got was not executed properly, he is not the owner, which means B is still the owner, and D does not have the right of so, and C also does not have the right of so. So, this document which is not executed properly will mention that in the key issue list. That, sir, with all due respect, this property is not clearly executed. Then, what is another key issue in the revenue records? If we have the revenue records of, let's say, 20 years, in 2 years, the landowner's names are not reflecting. He has not paid proper tax. So we'll mention that if, let's say, there are pending litigations in both the lower court and the high court, we'll make a summary of all the pending litigations which are there, and we'll give it to the concerned person in the key issue list. And similarly, if there is any issue which the clerk found in the external verification, I'll highlight that in the key issue itself. So exhaustive data of all these parameters which I told you, sale lead, etc., 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 and key issue of all these documents will combine and make a proper diligence report. Now you will say, sir, what is the purpose of all of this process? It is so difficult, and is it really worth it? So I would say it's really worth it, because I am not doing a branding of my firm, but when I joined my law firm, I was really awestruck by the fact that what is happening, why there is so much of work, why are they doing it so thoroughly. In Mumbai, it doesn't happen that way. They take things very lightly. But then my mentor told me, Rohit, this report that you're making, as soon as it is given to the investor or the banker under your firm's letterhead, the second moment he will disburse the loan amount to the landowner. That is how important it is to do a diligence report. It is basically, it's like a bridging gap between the economies. It is like a bridging gap between the development process, that it is so important to understand the nature that, and by the way, if anything goes haywire in the report, it is our responsibility. It is one of the very few jobs in the legal fraternity where we take full responsibility of each and every word that we put in the report. That, okay, if you have written so thing, we'll take the responsibility to the extent we have given the information for. Any document that we prepare is highly confidential. That will only go to the investor and the developer. I'm sorry. So that is the nature of the transition, what I was trying to say. So are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say? Is the topic really interesting? So
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you guys have any doubts? Or am I missing out something? Just you can let me know, type in the chat box, so I can revert back. So mostly today we have covered all the aspects of real estate practice. We have covered how the diligence process take place. Obviously, in a brief manner, there is a lot of details that I couldn't share because of the scarcity of the time. But I'm sharing this PPT with you. So Harsh or Varun or anybody from the legal log, they'll send you. You can go through it. After that, if you guys have any doubt, you can connect with me on the LinkedIn. You can text me there. I'll be available. Mostly, I'll tell Varun to circulate my email ID there. Also, you guys can ask any doubt to me. Okay, so quickly, as I told you earlier, so if you guys are interested in this profession, I'll tell you how to get into it. Because is anybody interested in to know that how to get into it?
Yes, sir.
So it's a very
Yes, sir.
simple.
Sounds good.
It's a very simple procedure. So I'll tell you. Generally, what do I say? Real estate is one of the field which has a very less competition, because, as I already told you, the nature of the process is so time consuming. you require a lot of patience. You have to be a very acute learner. You have to be very patient with all the documents that you read and understand, because the smallest mistake will not, you know, will not cost you over 10,000 or 20,000 rupees. It will cost you hundreds of crores because of the nature of the transaction. So a lot of, like, not much people opt for this profession because some people might find it a little dry, but it is rewarding. You get lots of money if you get the hang of the, transaction. And so it is the basic requirement of any law firm at the initial stage that they require some sort of experience from you. So let's say if you guys are in your third year or in your fourth year or second year, try to get into a law firm which is dealing majorly with real estate laws. Or let's say if you guys are not from any metropolitan city, at least, matlab, what do I say? Any random advocate who is doing notary near your place, just get along with that guy, because the best he'll let you know is he'll let you understand the nature of the transactions. At least, if let's say for example, if a guy who's doing notary and other small practices near any small village of, let's say, Dehradun, he won't be really apt for making the diligence, title due diligence report. But what he will know surely, that is to how to execute documents, how to draft documents, what are stamping, why is it stamping required, how to draft it properly, what are the rights of the client. So these basic details, you'll get it from there. So I would say initially, as soon as try to go to the law firms where they are teaching you how to make the diligence report, what are the nature of transactions. And then as soon as you have completed your 5-year law firm, a 5 year of law school, I'm sorry, then mostly by looking at your experience in the other law firms or advocates, law firms will obviously pull you. It's just, I'm telling you, it's very simple. You just need to have a basic experience of at least cumulative of at least 6 months. So if you at least have an experience of 5 to 6 months in that practice area, law firms will very willingly take, because that happened with me. That's why I'm saying. So very small example I would like to give. So the office where the law firm where I'm currently working at right now, so they came to my college for campus placement, and I am a very average student. I was a very average student, and the only best part in my CV was that I had an experience in real estate work. That's it. There were more than 100 people who gave the interview. Most of them were batch toppers. Most of them interned in the tier 1 law firm. Most of them interned under a senior advocate or in the Supreme Court. But the law firm which came to my college had an opening in real estate, and I had 2 decent experience in the real estate work. They picked me up. I was the only person who got selected. And I can't disclose you the money, but I'm getting paid from more than all of them. So it's a niche area, I would say, guys. If you guys have the patience, if you guys have that much of mental bandwidth to sit and do work, you should definitely opt for this practice area, and you will be surely rewarded. So that's it from my side. And if you guys have any doubt, you can surely reach me out. I think so. I have pasted my LinkedIn ID at the last page of this PPT also. This will be circulated. It was indeed Charles has raised the hand. Charles, yeah, what's up?
Yes, sir. Thank you for giving us a lot of experience on your own, and also the learning that you have given us. I want to inquire if you give internships in your law firm where you're working.
Okay, so I'm not the in charge of the internship committee, but you can surely go and apply to the website. You are in which firm, You are in which year, Charles?
So I'm in fourth year, semester 8. I'm
Oh,
from
that's
Marwadi University,
which
Gujarat.
university?
Marwadi University.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can surely apply at the website, uh, and then I'll take it forward from there. So you can surely apply at our website.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So can you please kindly show us the website as well, where you're working, so I can follow up?
Sorry, I couldn't get you. Sorry.
Can you please show us the website where I can get access to?
I'll forward that. Surely.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Once again, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Varun, for giving me this opportunity. I hope I made sense. I hope I could tell anything that I knew about this topic. And thank you so much.
Harsh, can you please go back to the last page where the LinkedIn ID would mention?
Sure, give me a second.
Sumitri has raised her hand. Yes, Sumitri, what's up?
Sir, can you please share your LinkedIn ID?
It's there. Amma, it's there. Wait. Last page. Wait.
Yeah, I think Harsh will be sharing it that soon.
Yeah.
Moreover, we will be circulating that PPT as well along with the certificates. I'll just share a link that attendance form. Please fill that because students who have filled the attendance form only be eligible for the certificates and the PPT. Moreover, thank you so much, Rohit sir, for sparing out time. It was really an interesting session. It was a learning experience for me as well, considering that I have zero experience with respect to real estate market. Thank you so much for giving this much of knowledge, and I think your practical insights would have definitely helped students here out. And I think students would love to connect with you over LinkedIn. So, Harsh, if you may just show up the last page. Uh, I think you would be the best person for them to guide it further with respect to real estate market, with respect to different internships and the work exposure which they might need. So thank you so much for your time. And I think once we share the PPT, students will have a direct link as well to your LinkedIn page.
Sure. Thank you so much, Varun. As I told, the pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for having me. And
Sure.
hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It's our pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sumitri. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Guys,
sir.
please
Thank
wait
you,
for the
Charles.
attendance form.
Thank you, Charles. Take care. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank
Bye,
you so
sir.
much.
Bye,
Bye.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hi, guys. I have shared the attendance form in the chat box. Please do fill the attendance form. Only people who have filled the form would be able to get the certificates. Thank you so much. Moreover, with respect to time, you will receive the certificates within 7 to 14 working days along with the PPT. So please be patient with respect to that. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, please tell me.
Sir, actually, I'm not able to search attendance sheet. I can't see The seat.